welcome to the A2Z Across LC podcast. Jeff Alsman here, Cody Zipman as well, and we have a fantastic special guest with us, co-hosting as well today, college president Dr. Ken Traska, as well as the host of the new podcast. Well, it's not new podcast. I can't see in these things. I got to take
the No Box podcast.
The No Box podcast. That's what it is.
It's been out for about a year.
Yes. So,
and I guess you haven't listened to any of the
No, I have actually.
What episode?
There's three episodes.
Yeah.
3 episodes on that were in last year's, what do they call that, season?
Season 1.
And a new season getting ready to be released on Friday of this week. So congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Which is harder, being a college president or hosting a podcast?
Hosting a podcast. It's very difficult. It's complex. Have you seen the crew that I have to work with every day?
They're rough.
It's the same crew that we have. Yeah, of course.
It is the same crew.
So we should tell everybody we are celebrating the Eclipse Day here with a big party on the grounds here on the Grove of the Commons at Lewis and Clark Community College. We've got food still. We do want to alert everybody that the eclipse has started. And if you look at the sun, you need to have your glasses on because the eclipse has actually started. It's not gotten terribly dark yet, but it can do damage if you're looking at the sun. It's best just to put these glasses on anytime that you're looking at the eclipse at any point throughout the day. So we want to make sure that you're doing that. Great glass. Did you design these, by the way, Dr. T?
I did, actually. The LC... Specifically, yeah. And I've been told that if people, they can either keep these as a memento or they can turn them back in. But if they bring them over, I've been told that you'll autograph them. Is that correct? I will.
What?
It's $2 an autograph.
$2 an autograph.
What's less than Cody's $5? So
well, I know. He was saying that. I thought that was a little outrageous, considering.
And all those, I'll go to student scholarships. How's that?
Fantastic.
The athletic endowment.
Yes.
Like Scooters is.
Speaking of the athletic endowment, if you're here and you have not gotten your Scooters beverage, do that because 25% of all of the proceeds from the sales of the Scooters beverages today goes to the athletic endowment. Woohoo! So, and this is good. I have a raspberry lemonade, and it's really good. I think you have that also.
I have a lemonade with strawberry. Acai.
Strawberry, what's it?
Acai.
Acai?
Acai, acai. I don't know how you pronounce
it. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Whatever it is, it tastes good.
It tastes good.
Yes.
Yeah. If you can't pronounce it, it usually tastes good. If you can't pronounce it, move on.
Move on, yeah. So anyway, hop on over to the scooter. They're right behind us, by the way, so you can get your scooters and help out the athletic endowment at the same time. We're going to have lots of fun today. There's games on the ground as well that the student activities is taking care of and manning. I know there was some cornhole I saw. I don't know what else is going on. Bucket ball over there as well. We already mentioned the food. There may still be some glasses. I'm not sure. We were getting close to running out, but maybe still some glasses and some giveaways as well. Some over there.
Out of glasses.
Never mind, we're out of glasses. That's producer O back there.
I have an extra pair at the podcast station if you need one.
And he'll autograph them before you take them. Are you coming to get glasses?
Wow, that was really fast. I literally just said we have an extra pair, and boom, here she is.
Would you like to autograph on?
That'll be $17, ma'am.
On the air.
Wave at the camera. You're live there. Yeah.
All right. Hey. All right. Right on.
So we've also just been told if anybody has extra glasses and are willing to share, that would be appreciated. I don't know if you have 4 eyes, maybe you have multiple pairs. I'm not sure.
Diane, get in that shot too.
We have folks
wave on the camera.
Wave on the camera. In the back of
You're
your
live
head.
there.
Right.
Say hi to the millions of viewers across the A to Z podcast.
770,000.
You just walked right through. That's all right.
She probably has no idea what that shot looked like that she just walked through.
She did not.
So, yeah. I hope that got your best side. That's all I can say.
Hi.
We got it.
The games?
The games?
Right over here behind us.
We've got games right over here on the lawn.
Right over here on the lawn.
You want to be on the camera?
Hello.
I don't know. Is she on the camera?
A future trailblazer here joining us.
Come stand right over here between me and Dr. T. What's your name?
Davi.
Say again.
Davi.
Davi? You're awful pretty, and you got all painted up for the occasion.
Where did you get that?
Yeah, that's.
Did you get that done here?
Oh, they got. We've got face paint.
We didn't even.
We should have done it.
So we did that here.
Yes.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we have face paint right over here.
That had to be the art department.
Yeah.
That's really classy looking
Awesome.
stuff.
It's good to meet you.
That's really cool. So the games are right over that way. You go have a good time, would you?
Yeah, have fun.
All right. See, we've got junior trailblazers all over the place right now.
They are future trailblazers.
That's right.
I love this. I feel like it's opening day, right?
Yeah.
We're live.
Well, it is for the Eclipse, but
opening day for the Eclipse.
It only happens like every 40 years. So at least, when you're kind of in that area of totality, which we're not in the 100%, but we're in the. I have my 98.2% outfit on today. And I see Cody has the sunshine outfit and
Sun Glow.
You're kind of the in-between, the before and after Eclipse outfit today.
Yeah.
So we've got all the stages covered.
We planned this ahead of time. We prepped, we planned.
That's what show prep's
We had
for.
your cliff notes for this episode.
Hey.
You guys have all kinds of notes. I don't have any notes.
Well, but you just wing it.
I'm just winging it.
I'm just winging it. So tell us a little bit about let's talk about the No Box podcast.
Yeah, sure. The No Box podcast is sort of this idea that we got to stop thinking out of the box and just eliminate the darn thing and think openly and have some curiosity around the future of education, the future of work, the future of everything we do and how we can sort of reimagine and sort of recalibrate energy and focus around, quite frankly, really around education. That's kind of the core. And so I get a chance to interview presidents and other leaders in the industry, sometimes ask some hard questions. I'm trying to walk a fine line between not being too controversial, but maybe trying to jump into some areas that really press people to think differently about what they've been doing in education. I'm really concerned with seeing schools close, and I want to know what's going on there. What's that a lack of, or what are we missing? So but it's a fun podcast. I think we have our season 2 starts Friday, and we've got a episode being dropped every Friday, and it's exciting. So make sure you check it out. It's Spotify, Apple, wherever you can listen to a podcast, you can listen to the No Box podcast. And I'll prefer if you listen to mine. So
now the challenge,
and then A to Z, then you can listen.
Listen to the No Box first, and just switch right over to the A to Z.
Yeah, exactly. It's the depth that I bring to the topics. It's pretty remarkable.
So, I feel like we need to hold up like a cha-ching sign or something.
I understand there'll be some post-production sound effects. So
is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
It's hard to do that live.
Dave's like, absolutely not going to happen.
So the challenges that you've talked about and the way things are changing, was that pre-pandemic, or has it really been more post-pandemic?
I think it was pre-pandemic. There was quite a bit written about 10, 15 years ago about the future of education and really this sort of, the cost of education continuing to go up, how access is really needing to be reevaluated in terms of how students at whatever level access education. And so I think it's an important topic. And now I think that theory of, hey, we're going to see some reckoning in years to come, it's kind of catching up with some of us. I think it's happening more on the university, private college side, but there have been signs of some community colleges really struggling in some states. And sometimes that has to do with you might have 3 community colleges within a 15-minute radius of one another. So it's sort of the redundancy of service of community and et cetera. But I'm not going to lie. I'm a little worried about just how the model looks. I think we're doing a wonderful job at LC, kind of reimagining how we support a lot of these students around us here today, and those looking like the young lady who we just saw, who is a special guest, right? Like, what's the expectation of someone like that in 10 years when maybe she considers Lewis and Clark? What's it going to look like? What's it going to feel like? What's it going to sound like? And so we try to explore that, and with no sort of pre-assumption, but just asking leaders in education or even outside of education, like, what are their opinions? What are their thoughts? What are they seeing? What aren't they seeing? What worries them? What vulnerabilities are they really struggling with? And I think we have to put our minds together to try to solve some of these problems. So one of the things I often say is a very scary time to be in education, but it's also the most exciting time because you have an opportunity to really transform things.
So can I cheer you up a bit?
Absolutely.
The Mississippi Mass Choir was here on Friday past put on a big concert over at the auditorium, about
yes.
500 people or so. So I helped him see that, and I was there, and I spoke backstage to some of the folks. And they said, you have the most beautiful campus we have ever seen. And I said, oh, on behalf of everybody, thank you very much. And then they go, no, seriously. They said, when we think of a community college where we are in Mississippi, it's nothing like this. And they said, the architecture, the landscaping, the color, all of the green, the stone, they said, this is unreal. Yeah. They were going around taking pictures of the campus and inside the auditorium. And this is a group that has performed for the Pope. They're Grammy Award winning, Dove Award winning, and here they are at Lewis and Clark, and they're taking pictures of the campus because they could not believe they were on a community college campus when they were here. I don't know if that says a lot about Lewis and Clark or not so much about other places, but it might make you feel a little bit better.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. No, I think we're all blessed to have such an amazing environment. I think it's encouraging. It's inspiring. I mean, I love it. So I'm glad they had a great experience here and enjoy it. And thank you for that, too.
Just when I heard that, I thought, I'm going to save that story for Monday and make sure that we tell that story.
You didn't say, well, on Monday, we're actually switching it back. We brought
exactly.
We got a lot of good things going on here. I just want to ask, just on your side, is just right now, how do you navigate through all this? Because obviously you dig into it, and you have a vision at the end on what this model is going to look like. So what is it there just to be the leader of Lewis and Clark, the head guy, the head honcho, the T-bird, and this leading us into the future?
Who takes all the arrows too, of course.
Yeah, I think I was having breakfast with another community leader this morning, with a high school or a school district superintendent, and we sort of share war stories a little bit, and I think you have to accept the fact that in a role like this, when things go great, you're going to be, hey, great job. When things don't go so great, it's your fault. So, and you're going to get arrows, and this individual is joking at, there's probably like 80 people that don't really like me. I said, that's pretty good. I mean, it's okay. You can't make everyone happy. I think, though, the big thing for me is being involved, being engaged, and continuing to advocate for the work. So with community, with team members, right? You can't just assume, that's a really interesting vision, but you have to still advocate for it, and I feel the more you do that, the more that can inspire others to be connected to it, to feel a connection to the work, to the vision, to the direction of the institution. Because everybody's busy. And if you're trying to lead it forward and help people see this broader picture, in order for us to grow and to be relevant, I think that's the big thing. I worry about relevance. Is kind of back to this idea that what's happening with education. There seemed to have, and there still is, this sort of indictment on it. It's is it worth it? And what's the future of the degree going to look like? We can spend a whole episode on the degree and my opinions on that. But I think, to your point, Cody, it's just being an advocate for the work and believing in it, and like you are, just being fired up about it. Being excited about the future, not worrying about the, you might have to take an exit you didn't want to take, but you get right back on at the next exit, and you keep rocking and rolling. You can't get deterred or distracted or frustrated, although all those things happen. But I think you have to have balance as a leader, as a human, as a person, and you got to make sure you're having fun.
Heck yeah.
I mean, believe me, the stress can easily eclipse, no pun intended, fun. But at the same time, you have to remember why you're doing it. And we look around this courtyard, and every one of these young ladies and gentlemen, as I like to say, they're the reason we do this work, is to help them transform their lives and to move on to that next level and to just to be great people, and make a difference. And so if you get stuck on, oh man, somebody didn't agree with me, or I made 4 people mad, keep reminding yourself of why you're doing this work, and then share it. So it's exciting.
I think it's a really good turnout at the event here today as well. It's hard to tell exactly because it's spread out. So there's folks that aren't just all here in the Grove, but folks kind of just meandering around and mingling.
Yeah, that's good.
Adam Witzkid in the house. Yeah, Whitty for the win. Come on down here and say hi, Whitty. This is live. Yeah, wait. You got your glasses?
How you doing, man?
All right, good.
We're selling them
good.
for $25.
Yeah.
I have them.
The price keeps going up every time he tries to sell it. You know?
It was 17 when we started.
Hey, well, when it's supply and demand, when the supply goes down, the price goes up, right?
Yep.
That's how that works. Why don't we take a break? We'll come back and talk a little bit more.
Let's do it.
We want to thank you for being with us and helping us co-host the event today.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Let's
dig into whatever. Let's have some fun, fellas.
We've got some guests that we have scheduled, and we probably have some.
Let's cancel those guests and let's just focus on
we haven't
me.
Scheduled.
If you don't mind. No.
It's the hour. It's 90 minutes with Dr. T.
Yes.
My agent told me that.
So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk more with Dr. T. And we got lots of things going on here today at the podcast. We are
LC.
DJ Mikey. This is where I am today. Let me show you how I started.
And welcome back to the A2Z Across LC podcast.
Volleyball! Sorry, Jeff.
Welcome back, everyone.
Jeff Alsman, Dr. Ken Traska.
Hello.
Cody Zipman, and we have two members of the women's volleyball team, Adele Hayes and Harris Legender, with us. And we like to bring athletics into our podcast. We have a segment each time on that, and we'd like to talk to the student athletes. So Cody, we have a couple volleyball players with us that just completed their season not too long ago, and I hear you have some stories also not related to volleyball to talk about as well.
We got road stories about a fundraiser at Enterprise Center. One of the players, also a customer there that they're going to tell you about. I think that's why Adele has that Canadian flag over there.
So Adele has the flag, and Harris is next to her.
Yes,
okay,
Harris with one R.
With one R.
With one R. You spelled it in our cheat sheets right now with two R's.
I think I lifted it right out of your email. So
no, we confirmed that on a text.
Wow.
No, we confirmed that on a text.
It's Cody's fault that you spelled it wrong.
This is part of everything's the AD's fault. Everything.
Always.
Everything. My boss always tells me that.
Yep.
If it weren't for you, Cody.
That's it. Constant. That's
then
the
this
email.
Wouldn't have happened.
So are you having a good time today at the Eclipse party?
What was that?
Are you having a good time at the Eclipse party?
Yeah, it's super nice.
There's a lot of people here,
which is nice.
Are you nervous?
Yes.
Harris is freaking out.
My heart is pounding out of my chest right now.
Why? It's just us having a good time.
Because her mom's playing this in her classroom right now.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah. Hi, Mom. Wave at that camera. Hi.
I made it.
You made it. We're live. Awesome.
With our 1.3 million viewers.
Yeah, she made it. She's on the A2Z podcast. How about that?
You lied to me.
You told her, and she believed it.
I said April Fools. Everything's
really
good as long as you say April Fools.
You really haven't made it though until you're on the No Box podcast.
That's right. Are you gonna get them on the No Box?
Absolutely.
What's the No Box?
No Box podcast is my podcast.
Well, let's
This
go.
is the president. You gotta know everything.
We'll be next. We'll go there next.
So I need like a few more. So
we'll come.
If you become a guest, you become a listener.
Deal.
To the other way around.
I'll become a listener if I'm a guest.
There you go.
So
that sounds like
when are we doing it? I'll do it.
Young ladies booked on
the gauntlet has been thrown down.
We're gonna be podcast pros.
I'll have 10 listeners, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So
appreciate the support.
We don't have a ton of time, but I want you guys to get your two stories from the road, right? Okay, so we do a lot of fundraising at Blues games and City Park soccer, but we were last. Volleyball was with me last, and I will have to say, sorry to the other sports, every time I go over to fundraising with volleyball, it's more of a party than fundraising, right?
Yeah.
So when we went over there and you have your Canadian flag, what story you want? Do we want to talk about Hofer and Hayes?
No, we're gonna do Canadian. No, Canada first.
Yours?
Canada first?
Okay.
Because I want
the Californian Canadian.
We'll save the best one for the last.
Yeah, Cody thinks I was flirting with a 40-year-old Canadian man.
I mean, I'm trying to get beverage to a cooler and fill this up. And next thing you know, the person that is writing down this is talking to the customer. I see hair flipping. Okay. I see. Hi, where you from? You sound like you're from Canada.
I did not say hi. Where are you from?
And he says, no, I'm from California.
I said, are you Canadian? And he goes, no, I'm from California. I said, are you sure? And then we walk away, and Cody's like, why are you flirting with him? I'm like, he's older than you.
30 minutes later.
I don't want to hear it. Your wife's like 30, and you're like 39.
Here we go.
So you're like, yeah.
She's here right now. We should bring her
Where's
up.
she at?
She's hiding way over there. She would never dare come
So-
by.
I don't want to hear it. You can't talk.
So what made you think he was Canadian?
Because he had the Canadian accent.
What is the
What
Canadian
is-
accent?
yeah.
Like the
Can you?
A.
Hey, like
Hey,
Hasn't been Canadian.
hey.
Maybe he was
And
starting the
they're
alphabet.
really nice.
He
I need
literally
a-
ordered his drink, and he said
that was
A
good.
afterwards.
Curveball there. That was good. His water and pretzel, A,
Yes,
for like $40.
probably.
Okay, so let's pivot off that, but then let's talk about, so when we start every night over there, we always got to take down these gondolas filled with trash. Okay, it's the first thing we have to do. But the great thing about this is you walk right by all the St. Louis Blues players. So the St. Louis Blues players are warming up for the game. They're in the circle. They play soccer game or they throw the football around. And so we walk by and we're going to talk about what? Jenna Hood, our
Joel
volleyball,
Hofer.
and Joel Hofer, backup goaltender for the goal, right?
I was doing
Hofer
the
and
pretzels.
Hood.
I didn't get to do the trash.
Adele was not with us at this
I
time.
was doing pretzels.
So set the scene for me as
Okay.
we go down there.
So I'm doing trash with Cody and Jenna Hood, another player on the team, and we're like on our second trip, and we're on our way back to the elevator to go back up to refill the trash, and we see the Blues players. They're playing like soccer and they're throwing a football, and we go back upstairs, and me and Jenna were like, we need to fill the trash up again as quick as we can so we can go back down there. So that's what we do, and then we're filling up. We're about to go down there, and then Macy says, I'm going to come with you guys, but we don't tell her that the Blues players
She
are
left
not.
Tori doing the
Time
dishes
real
alone.
quick because we're live. Mace in the crowd.
Jenna.
Come wave real
Jenna,
quick.
come on.
Wave to the camera real quick. Yeah. Okay, Macy's down there with them. There.
She
There
was
you go.
doing the dishes in the left, Tori.
Okay, good. Okay, continue the story.
Okay, I don't remember that.
Wait, Macy.
Okay, yeah, so we empty the trash with Jenna and Macy, and then we're on our way back up to from the elevator, and we say we should prank Ellie and tell her that one of the, what was his name? Joel Hofer?
Joel Hofer.
Came up to Jenna and asked for her number while they were warming up. Stopped
They
her
know I'm
while she was
gullible. They know I'm gullible.
stopped her while she was doing trash
Fundraising.
and asked for her number. So it was probably 30 minutes that we got Ellie to believe that
I
one of the
texted my
players-
dad and everything.
Yeah, tell
Yeah.
the story.
I
So you're
texted
going
you
back
now.
with your dad.
They come upstairs and they're like, "Oh my God, best experience ever." I'm like, "What happened?" and Harris is like, "A player asked for Jenna's phone number." I'm like, "Shut up!" I'm like, "That did not happen." They're like, "No, I swear, he asked for her phone number." I'm like, "What did he look like?" They're like, "I don't know. He had a mullet. He was hot." I'm like, "All right, no." So I look up the roster. I'm like, "All right, I don't know who it is, but we're going through all these players." So Jenna's standing by me, and I'm like scrolling through my
No,
phone.
and there were like 2 or 3 players that we said who it was.
No,
and then
you
we
said it was
picked-
Joel Hofer.
No,
I showed you the
there was
picture.
2 of them.
Well,
The second, Joel
I
Hofer
show a
was
picture
hotter
of
than
Joel
the first one that
Hofer.
we
Got a lot
showed.
to
because he has a mullet. And they're like, "Yeah, that's him." So I'm like, "No way."
These are
I'm like, "He's
teammates.
the goalie." I'm texting my dad. I'm like, "Dad, look at."
And why are you texting your dad?
Because
your dad?
my dad skates with the Blues alumni, so he knows like a bunch of Blues people. Well, my dad responds back with his stats. He's like, "This is him. These are his statistics."
His salary. They used the
I'm like,
salary.
That sounds like a guy, doesn't
salary.
it?
Then
Yeah, salary, yeah.
I'm with Cody, and I'm like, "Jenna and Joel, that kind of sounds good." And Cody looks at me and goes, "You know they're messing with you, right?" I was like, "Oh, I'm
This is
so
30
mad."
minutes later.
crazy.
I was
Afterwards.
so mad. I was so mad.
That was a good time.
It was
good
so
time.
funny.
Was
though.
not.
Sounds fun.
She did not talk to us for like
No.
10 minutes.
I was like, "I'm never doing these pretzels again." So on Friday, I'm not doing the pretzels. You are.
So did you get an autograph out of this
No.
or anything?
No, it was all
Ironically
fake.
enough,
It was fake.
No, it was fake. Yeah, it was fake.
None of
But
it's true.
there was actually a girl. There was a famous girl at the game there.
Charlie D'Amelio.
Charlie D'Amelio was watching Joel Hofer,
We found-
so he
yeah,
was
we
already
found it
cheating
out.
on Jenna. But
Supposedly it's him that's dating her,
yeah, so they're
All
dating,
this within
and
30 minutes.
not
Yeah.
Jenna.
All this in 30 minutes. This is how we started the night.
I feel
Yeah,
like
good night.
I feel like we've gone from A to Z to People Magazine or something.
That's what the show's about. Athletics brings that spice to this show.
The sacrifices that the players have to go through to raise a little bit of money.
They do. Making pretzels, beverage, and
We have a great
and
time.
We do.
We get free food.
Yeah.
Don't
we
tell
do.
anybody
Unk,
that.
we got to get a
You
shout out
just
to
told
Unk.
everybody.
Unk.
Yeah.
Shout out right now.
Unk is that's my boy. We're gonna get him a jersey that says Unk, number 1.
Front row.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's our boy.
Is it so? What do you guys have any questions? I just wanted to bring them on for those stories.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed these stories.
So besides that experience, what have you enjoyed most about being a student athlete at Lewis and Clark? Okay, thank you.
Honestly, it's quite fun. I enjoy it. I met a lot of really great people, through the process, and I get to do what I love for 2 more years. So
If I didn't come here, I would have known Harris, and now she's my roommate next year.
yeah, we're roommates next year. So
Very cool. All right.
Yeah.
Are you fired up for next year?
for next year, yeah, we're gonna be really good next year. So
What are you
I'm
guaranteeing
excited.
here?
what?
I sent a picture to Dr. So every night we know when we fundraise, we take pictures. I send one to Dr. T and then PR and marketing, and the one that you took said in the background, "History made." So to me, that's you guaranteeing a national title.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
We're going from.
Well, I remember the practice you just came in after the bowling thing, and you asked how we did, and we said that we lost by a lot, and he goes, "You guys are really losing a lot this year." And I was just baffled. I didn't know what to say, but
Inspirational.
It is inspirational.
Well, we want to thank you, both of you ladies, for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank
The
you for letting us
fundraising
on.
efforts you put in and the athletic events and accomplishments that you no doubt are going to accomplish as you move ahead. Great stories. Sounds like you guys have a lot of fun. Can't wait for the next couple of years. These two rooming together. This is
yeah,
It's gonna be so
a great
fun.
time.
And we're gonna have you back because secretly
We're
Harris.
going on the No Box.
No Box
No Box.
podcast.
We're going
gonna
on
get
that.
that set up.
Harris
Absolutely.
sings a little bit. We didn't
That's
get it on
cool.
this thing.
I do.
She
We'll
sings
We'll
a
have
little
the
bit.
No Box
We're gonna do a duet
podcast
next time we're
student
on.
edition.
Yeah, you
Okay,
didn't
there
sing
you
your
go.
song. My name is Cody, and I'm a.
Yeah, we came up with a rap, but
That's only for fundraising.
He told me I wasn't allowed to sing that.
You're not supposed to tell everybody in our 1.3
I didn't say the
million
rest.
views.
Cody.
Okay.
Cody breaks into song every now and then, and it's too many
It's
times
awful.
as it is.
Terrible. You should hear him sing Garth Brooks in the van on the way to the games.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for being with us. We're about probably less than 10 minutes away from peak time here in Godfrey, so we're going to take a break. Come back and bring in Tavish Hill. He is a faculty member, adjunct that teaches astronomy. So we're going to find out why all of this is happening, how it happens, all of the scientific details from an expert.
Yes.
So we'll do that when we come back.
We
Cody?
should thank our sponsor, the sun and the moon. Thank you
Yes, exactly.
for your support.
Ready? We are.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but my path could have been in exercise science. Let's go! Or I could have discovered the artist in me.
And welcome back to the A2Z Across LC podcast. We are podcasting live here at the Grove in front of the Commons at Lewis and Clark Community College. And I don't know if it's supposed to or not, but the wind seems to be picking up just a little bit. It's definitely cooler. We looked up during the break. Make sure you've got these glasses on if you're looking up at the eclipse. Don't risk losing your eyesight. So make sure you're wearing these special safety glasses if you want to take a look at the sun. It looks like it's about 80 to 85% of the way across the sun now. The moon is, and it's beginning to get a little darker here. I don't know exactly how all of it happens. Well, I kind of do, but we've got an expert to really tell us.
An expert on there, and an ex-baseball player. Yeah, man, it's been forever. I love this. This is good.
Chewing in my ear again.
Tavish Hill is an adjunct faculty member who teaches astronomy and is going to tell us why this happens, how often it happens, what exactly happens if you're not sure, and the response that happens as well through nature, the animals, humans, all of that. Just kind of
set the stage.
Set the stage for us, because
Sure.
within the next 10 minutes, it's at 2:01. It's actually about 5 minutes away now.
Yep. So
we're going to be at peak time.
So right about now, you're probably feeling it get a little bit cooler, right? Winds picked up. That's because of the less radiant energy hitting, warming the air a little bit differently than it normally would. So it's a little bit cooler.
It feels nice, though.
It does feel nice. It's also, if you notice, it's getting a little bit darker. Since it's getting a little bit darker, you're going to be able to sort of see people get a little bit agitated, maybe feel a little bit weird or eerie about stuff, just because it's not something you normally see in the middle of the day like this. You'll also find insects will start acting a little bit weird. They don't know that it's, as we get real close to it at least, they're not going to realize that they're not supposed to be chirping and behaving a little differently than they normally
So we
would.
might hear some of that.
You might. So in 2017, when I was doing one of these things, it was I was in St. Charles at the time, but you could definitely hear a lot of crickets and other things sort of coming out of the woodworks. So you can kind of expect some kind of weird vibes, I guess, so to speak. I don't want to promote that too much. People think it's like astrology or something weird. But yeah, if you guys have any specific questions you want to pick up on any of that, I'm your guy.
Cody, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
What did the moon say to the sun during the eclipse?
What?
Excuse me, I'm just passing through.
That's why we have 1.3 million viewers.
Oh, wow.
April Fools.
So
-1. Oh.
So, how often does this happen? The last time I remember it happening to this degree of impact was way back when I was in elementary school. We made the little cardboard boxes
the viewers,
the viewers,
That's right,
you'd look through the hole, and I don't remember it happening to this degree. Maybe I've just not paid that much attention.
Yeah, so a solar eclipse, meaning the shadow of the moon falling on the Earth, happens about once every year or two. It's not that uncommon. However, most of the time it falls over the ocean, or it falls over areas that are not very populated, or areas that frankly we don't care about, so we don't pay attention to it. In 2017, it crossed all the way from, I want to say, Oregon or Washington, all the way down almost to around Florida, I believe. Kind of crisscross right where we were at, so we could see the totality. Like I said, in St. Charles or around here, we were able to see it. And the next one that's going to cross a significant amount of the U.S. is probably 2045, I believe. So it'll be a minute. It's not something that happens where at least one place on Earth, you don't get to see that very often. Any point on Earth usually has to go a little bit under 400 years on average before you see the next one. So the fact that we can be within walking distance or driving distance of two of them in 7 years is pretty remarkable, really, right?
Now, during the peak time, how long does the peak time last?
I'm not sure for us this time. It won't be very long, a couple minutes probably. But normally, in the totality, it's longer. So in that path of totality that you've probably seen all over the internet and the news, that is the area we're going to see it. It's going to last the longest the closer you are on center to that. I want to say Carbondale is pretty much right on that line this time. It was the same thing in 2017. They're just lucky, I guess, down there. So it just depends on how far off you are. We're not too far off, so we should be okay. I think we're going to get about 98%-ish.
That doesn't sound like much from 100, though. Does it really have that much impact?
It can. So even a percent or two can significantly change how dark it gets. And some of the features, I'm not 100% sure if we're going to see all the interesting features that you might normally see. Hopefully we will. So you'll see something called Bailey beads, which are named after a scientist who observed sort of the ridges and the craters and the mountains and valleys on the surface of the moon. And as they are obstructing the sun, you'll be able to see light, and you'll be able to see those for the first kind of time. You look at the moon, you can't see those normally, right?
If you look around now, everybody who was looking at us is now looking away from us. They've got the glasses on. Right? Yeah, they're looking up at the sun, and we're about 1 minute away from peak time. So we're probably a little less than that, actually.
Yeah, right around.
Tavish, how is this for you? Like, just events like this?
Just the what?
Just events like this. Like, how is it? You get fired up about these things?
Oh, I get excited. I do. Yeah, about 1 in 10,000 people ever get to see one of these in their life. We get to see two. At least, so those of us who were around in 2017 and watching it, right? Yeah. It was pretty amazing, really.
Hey. Where are we at?
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Yeah, I already gave away my shades.
Here,
so
you want to take a look? Here.
I mean, people keep asking me, and I'm like, here.
Don't give those away. I want to keep mine.
Okay.
Take a look. Tell us how close we are, Cody.
Count it out. 97%, 98%.
I mean, listen, it's a sliver.
It's a sliver.
Like a sliver.
Yeah.
Here, look up.
It's neat to look around and see everybody else looking up. It's and I wonder. I wonder if it's doing much with the cameras. If they're having to
it's going to look like
right?
kind of dawn almost here pretty soon.
Right.
So,
but actually, like where we're sitting, that's what producer Lim is saying. It's actually darker right now than what actually the camera is showing, just because they have the light right
for
the camera.
Yeah. Cameras adjust to it.
Yeah, the cameras are adjusting to it.
Yeah. And we dodged most all of the clouds today, so that a nice.
I was worried about that,
day.
Jeff. Like, you looked at the beginning of last week when we were recording, and it was what?
It was
50% chance rain.
There was.
I mean, my dad was talking about it ahead of time, but then as we got closer, you couldn't ask for a better day.
Go ahead and ask a question. I'm going to take a look real quick while you guys.
Time to look.
You guys go ahead and talk. Yeah, do you want to look? Here we go,
man.
I don't know.
Tell us more about this.
I see it.
I know this is awesome.
You know what? I see a plane.
My classes though. So.
Well, you make sure.
Tavish, I see a plane up there. What would the plane be seeing, or would it be different for?
They might be. I don't know if they would be or not right now. There are actually researchers who specifically will get on planes with instruments, scientists who look at the sun and image it. They'll fly through the path of totality as it goes past, and they will be able to see a couple hours in a row of it. So they get a way better view than we do.
Well, I see one up there because I can see the streak, the smoke or the whatever behind. Yeah. So I didn't know that'd be interesting to be up there that close.
Yeah.
And see the different perspective of it. So I was wondering about that.
Well, I want to talk. Okay, so how all these years ago, I'm a young guy coaching baseball, whatever. But how did you get into all this? I never knew this.
I was a nerd back then, if you remember, right? So I was in all the physics classes and all that stuff back then. So I got transferred to Rolla to play ball down there. I think he's waving. Oh yeah. Anyway, so played ball down at Rolla.
Say hi to Blazer behind you. I'm sorry. He's been there for the last 30 minutes.
I don't know. I'd shake your hand. But.
Hi, Blazer.
Blazer's got his shades on. Hey, can I borrow those
Blazer's
shades?
always safety
do those
first.
Work for me?
Well, you got to be very, very, very careful with these. A lot of people try to use the sunglasses, and it's not a good idea.
A little bit. How can you see out of those, man?
The same way with the other ones.
It's got a giant mask.
I know he does.
Right? It's got the real ones on underneath. But yeah, I went to Rolla. After Rolla, came back and decided I want to do physics degree and went to SIUE. I think you were there for a minute too, weren't you? Didn't you coach there or do something?
Yeah, I mean it was fall for maybe about a month.
You were loitering maybe
or
something?
Yeah.
Something
I
like
was still,
that? Yeah, I went there for a little bit, got my physics degree, went to UMSL, got my master's in physics with a focus on astro and cosmology, and
now you're back.
Now I'm bouncing around teaching a bunch of other kids.
That's awesome, man. It's great to see you.
Yeah, it's good to catch up.
Well, I'm glad we had you with us so you could explain all this to us. There's still sliver.
That'll probably be about as much as it gets.
Yeah, it almost looks like the sliver is now where it's crossing over and leaving the sliver on the back side.
Yeah, it probably will. Yes, that's right. Yeah. And you might see shadows get a little bit like of a crescent shape as well. Not of people, but of like if you stand near trees or something like that, you might notice that as well. So.
And then the temperature will pick back up because it does feel like maybe 10, 15 degrees?
Oh yeah, I mean that breeze didn't come from nowhere, right?
Yeah,
that breeze kicks in. That's usually about 15 to 20 minutes. It starts to do that gradually, leading up to the totality. Yeah.
And then after about a half hour afterwards, we're back kind of to normal.
Yeah, something like that.
As normal as we can be.
As normal as you can be with your life changed by this event, right?
Yes.
Appeasing the sun gods for all your days.
Well, if nothing else, we can say we made a memory.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy you had him on there because when we were prepping for this, he just said, "What are we gonna say on this?" I was like, "I don't know. The moon goes across the sun."
Gets in the way.
Yeah. I was like, "We can't talk about that for like 5 minutes."
Yeah. I mean, it's actually a remarkable coincidence, really. Just because the sun is such and such far away, and it's about 382 times bigger than the moon is, and it just as a happy coincidence of sort of gravitational dynamics, it happens to be that the moon, which is about it's 382 times smaller than the sun, and it's about 382 times closer to us, and as a result of that, the two are about the exact same apparent size, we call it, in the sky, so one exactly can match up over the other. So if that didn't happen, another 600 million years or so, we're not going to have any more of these. The moon will be it moves about an inch farther away from us every year. So at that point, it'll be too far away. You'll just see sort of a circular ring as the best you can get, which will be pretty cool too. We get those from different spots.
Did you get all that, Cody?
600 million years, we're not going to have this.
So set your alarm.
If I'm still around then.
Well, wonder what the glasses technology will be like.
What do you think first? I make the 600 million years, or we have 600 million viewers?
I'm gonna go for viewers.
Okay. Yeah, get in on this. You getting out?
Why don't we take another break and then we'll come back? Thanks so much for being with us and
no problem. I appreciate you having
giving us all the scientific expertise of what we're actually seeing and experiencing here today. And some of the folks, I guess you kind of just get addicted to it. You just got to keep looking at it because everybody's the peak is gone, but everybody's still checking it out because
it's still not something you see every day.
No, absolutely not.
Discovered.
Yep.
Thanks so much for being with us, and we'll get you back on the show, and we'll talk some more scientific kind of stuff.
Next time something happens,
we got to have you talking about your program. That's what we like to do on the show.
There you go.
So we'll have you on that one. Thanks, Gavin.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, sir.
Take it easy, man.
Cody?
We are
LC!
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
And welcome back to the A2Z Across LC podcast. We're out here podcasting live during the eclipse, which has reached its peak now, and it's actually starting to lighten back up, and the crowd is dispersing a bit. And Cody grabbed on to another student who was coming through and said he'd like to be on the podcast, so we're going to welcome in Richard Disher, a student here at Lewis and Clark. Richard, welcome to the podcast. Tell us a little bit about, I know you were watching the eclipse, so what was your overall feel? What was the effect?
This is the second time I've been to an eclipse. The first time was about,
You're okay.
Am I close enough now?
You're good.
There you go.
Yeah.
So this is the second time I've been to the eclipse, and I seen it in full totality whenever I was about 11. 11, so it's kind of interesting seeing it again now.
When you were 11, did you see it here on this campus?
No, I was in Waterloo.
Waterloo, okay.
Waterloo. So it was kind of interesting seeing like the differences between them now.
Waterloo!
Was it a lot darker at the 100% totality? Or?
Whenever it was at the 100%, I remember everyone just went dead silent. Like, birds weren't even chirping, they were going to sleep, and then you heard cicadas. It was truly just like a magical 5 minutes that you cannot ever forget.
Cool.
I will say, it didn't get as dark as I thought it might get at 98.2%. Yeah, don't forget that 0.2. Yes.
What is pretty remarkable with 1.8% of the sun showing, that's still pretty bright.
Pretty powerful, isn't it? Yeah.
And
it really
puts a lot of confidence in the sun for me.
You think we're okay?
I think we're okay. At least another 40 years. Another 40 years, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
See you then.
Richard, before we go out on here, tell us what are you taking here at LC? Or what programs are you in?
So I'm in the industrial electricity program.
Oh, right on.
I remember whenever it was like the middle of COVID in high school, and I was just sitting in the classroom. I can't stand a traditional classroom. And then the industrial electricity program came to light when my welding teacher had showed this to us. Paul Kiebrick, he came to Alton High School.
Paulie!
Gave us a presentation, and it was something where I was just like, that's what I want to do. Because you're working with electronics, it's very interesting. And it's ever evolving, so you're never going to get bored.
So you are LC, you are engaged, we've grabbed you, and you love it here.
Yes, I love the program entirely.
Perfect guest for it. He's all about harnessing energy and all of that.
Perfect. Perfect one to go out with.
Yeah.
That's great. It's great to have you on. And
thank you.
Thanks for being a trailblazer. Once a trailblazer, always a trailblazer.
That's right.
Dang right.
Thank you, Richard. I appreciate
Thanks
it.
for being
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Best of luck to you.
really appreciate you guys having me on here.
All right. Right on.
Thank you.
All right.
So, Dr. T, we'll before we sign out and head off and wait for the next one, I guess.
Yeah, in 40 years, I'll be 90, and I'm looking forward to that.
We'll appreciate you signing the contract early.
Yeah, I'm willing to work out those details now.
Yes.
In 40 years.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed your experience today.
I've had a great time. You guys are awesome. Your podcast is amazing. I listen to every episode. I've listened to all 3 episodes, 4 episodes. How many you got?
I listen to all yours right before I go to bed.
It's actually 5.
Because it helps you fall asleep. You have 5 episodes. So I've listened to 3 of the 5. But not all 5 have been released.
Yeah.
They have been.
Yeah.
Maybe not to you.
Okay. I got to stop talking, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just digging a hole here for myself.
Everybody.
No, but appreciate the work you're doing to engage our campus and shine light on all the good work going on. And, I mean, we have an amazing institution with amazing people, so thank you. And also, we got to give a shout out to our awesome crew behind the scenes,
Mike Lemons and David Olenbittle and Brian McKinney, and a couple of radio students that I don't know their names.
Nick and Dylan, thank you, fellas.
There you
Nick
go.
and Dylan, let's
All
go.
right.
Nick
All
and
right.
Dylan, the real talent behind the producing
Lots
staff.
of wires and equipment that had to come out and be set up and be monitored to be able to make this happen. Our first shot at trying to do one live, and I will say we really didn't know what might happen.
Everybody showed up, not for the eclipse, but for A2Z. I mean, this is what we need to clarify with the audience. Is the eclipse was like, oh, there's an eclipse.
Right.
I thought this was
the
to
afterward.
check out Cody in Alsman live.
So the No Box podcast
with Dr. T
every Friday,
dropping a new episode. So if you're interested in riveting conversations around the future of education, future of the world, tune in.
Now, the volleyball players already told me they want to be on it.
And the volleyball players are going to be on. Probably have some students on and talk to them and go from there. I want to thank the 17 people still out there in the crowd. It's great to have you here.
Shout out to you 17 here still.
Your agent just texted me, and I'm told it's every other Friday.
Every other Friday.
So you don't want to overwork yourself.
Yeah. Every other Friday.
Every other Friday.
Yes.
We kind of rotate.
We stagger them.
Yes.
Yeah.
To keep you engaged.
Yes.
So have you ever thought, since it's no box and it's almost like anything can go, even broadening beyond education and doing other types of topics?
Yeah, I have. Looking at industry in general, just looking at I mean, like having some students on and just talking about, their experience as students. And this young man who was just on who talked about, like, this traditional classroom doesn't work for me, so we found something that worked for him. So I think it's part of that kind of understanding, students and understanding our audience better and what works for them. But yeah, I'm open to having the two of you on.
We'd love that.
I mean, we'd have to really sort of plan this and have an
that.
outline, because I want to make sure we don't go too far off the rails. Although I don't know, it might not be a bad thing. So
but are you going to have any part of the partnership that Cody has with Scooters for the No Box to be able to cut into some of his 25%?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
absolutely. The other, what people don't understand is the other 75% go to the No Box.
Oh, that's where. Okay,
I don't know if they know that.
Bob does not know that. I do have to.
Bob's like, excuse me.
Guess how the Scooters thing started? Right here.
No, there you go.
No,
that's how it started.
There you go.
That's how it started.
Listen, like, it's all about connections and working together, and I think that's what's remarkable. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of working together, thanks so much for sitting in with us. It's been great to have you.
My pleasure, as always.
Third co-host
Jeff,
here
I got
today.
a shout out just real quick to just everybody that helped make this happen, all the maintenance department. But
yes.
Jared Hennings and Dr. Hill.
Are they still around?
They are right behind us, finishing up the food over there. Scooters as well, but with Jared and Dr. Hill, I mean, this started as just a small, hey, should we get some glasses for this? And that was pre-Christmas, and now it's turned into all of this. So shout out to everybody out there.
Yes.
And the PR marketing group as well.
Everybody does so much behind the scenes to support our craziness in front of the scenes. So thank you.
This is the easiest part right here.
Well, we won't tell Brian and David and Mike and the rest of those guys, but now that we know we can do this live, we'll ask for more favors from them.
We should. I think it would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking Bills.
Don't
Bills Mafia.
Yeah.
Bills Mafia
Oh,
at a game live. Outside bundled up. What do you think about that?
See,
On
we
the
have
road.
our own no box. It's just we test the capabilities of all of the rest of the folks that have to jump through all the hoops to make us be able to just sit here and talk.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it? Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Cool.
Well, thank you all again.
right.
This has been fun. Look forward to perhaps some future collaboration. You know, once I talk to my agent, I'm sure we can flesh something out in a year or two. But no, thank you, fellas.
I like it.
Sounds
Appreciate your
great.
work. Good stuff.
We want to thank you for being with us as well today, and we'll see you again before the next eclipse. Of course, we release every 2 weeks also on Friday with the A2Z Across LC podcast. Cody, take us out.
We are
LC.